that kind of standard of quality of living. But things are changing. We're encouraging them to, have more work. We're trying to build markets for them. We'll invite them to have some shows or performance. And, slowly but gradually, people think, oh yes, people are recognizing my performance, my work. And it's kind of encouragement. But finally, people realize how important, creative products to our life, living, instead of economy. Because in the past, we didn't think, that's important. We think, that's kind of a soft economy, a soft approach, which doesn't reflect in those GDP figures. But now we realize it can help our economy. Yeah. It's important to the essence of living. That's what I emphasize a lot in this county. But we can discuss in detail later. But basically, we are trying to build that kind of a solid or attractive or inviting environment for those creative people.
Yeah. So all in all, quick comments on perhaps it would be the catch-all phrase of his legacy of the first term. Quick comments from both of you, Dr. Cao?
Yes, as a matter of fact, John, I want to tell you, I lived in his county for 13 years before I left the United States 50 years ago. So I know what the old Nangang and now the new Nangang. It has been tremendous improvement. So in the past 10 years or so, now particularly in the past 3-4 years, that township or that area has been really facelifted. So I think you have made progress, and we'd like you to make more progress in the future.
Yeah, together with the local artists or people.
Sure.
John? Right. John?
To have creative people, you need people. You need just a lot of people to go live there. Creative people are very mobile. These businesses are very international. They like to go and live with other creative people in a nice environment.
Yes.
If you don't provide a nice environment, they will go. The nice environment does not help them to be creative, but it does help them to live there.
All right.
And unless they live there, you won't get to base one.
Yes. All right. With a nice environment as the first base, when we come back, we're going to talk about how you build a creative economy and creative ecology from this moment on. When we come back in a moment.
Last year, fire burnt down the Cloudgate Dance Theater's performance and practice location, displacing them from their home. Not only did Taipei County Governor Cho Shi-wei express his sincere concern right away, but he aided Cloudgate in resettling at the Art Education Center in Damshui. In recent years, the Taipei County government has worked hard in seeking out county-owned idle properties that can be provided to arts and cultural groups as locations to perform and work.
我们希望文化创意是在生活里面无所不在，所以大家对于所谓的文化艺术的表演，我们都希望在各个乡镇市、各个地方都用免费的方式让大家参与，同时也让这些文化创意的表演团体能够有它展现才华的机会。
A comprehensive artistic environment has been created through this dual method, allowing culture to become deeply integrated into daily life.
Welcome back to Creative City and its people. We just talked about how Taipei maintained its first base by providing an attractive environment for creative people to be happy to live in. Now, you've talked about many other cities who have migrated from what it was to where it can be through the process of creative development. Perhaps you could share with us some of the cities, or perhaps you could share with us one of the cities that you talk about quite often, London.
I think that the main center of this creative economy, and now I talk actually most about the creative ecology.
Ecology, correct.
It's a city phenomenon. And you all know that in the first half of this century, people were leaving cities. And then in the past 30 years, they've come back to the city. The move has been back to the city. Even with the internet, high-speed communications, we don't sit on the beach. We live in the city. And cities that can provide an attractive place for people to experiment, working groups that they share a fellow feeling with, where there's a market for their ideas, that's very important, which is where GDP is an important factor, because you need people to spend money on those ideas. Where those factors are in place, you get a bunch of people that has a sort of, I'm mixing my metaphors here, but a sort of snowball effect, and the city becomes more and more creative. And you get architects and designers and restaurants and cafes and bars and filmmakers and TV producers and fashion people, all feeding off each other. And London, where I'm very happy to live, is one of those cities.
It certainly has changed in the last couple of years, too.
Yes.
It continues to morph, and perhaps people would like to learn from you. On some of the lessons, how do you effect such change? One of your theses was cities were habitats of people who constantly change, learn and adapt to new environments.
Yes.
At the same time, it could foster new economic development.
Yeah.
So environment being number one, a hospitable, very welcoming environment, and what's next?
You need to be very international. These industries, design, fashion, architecture, film, publishing, are very international businesses. And if you're a designer in Taipei, London, Liverpool, Shanghai, Sydney, Brisbane, wherever, you will read the same magazines, you will admire the same people. So they're very international.
Right.
So you need to have a very international city. Secondly, you need a city which is a bit weird, a bit funky, where kids go to art school and play around, where there's enough money around to support them even if they're unemployed, where the education system supports that sort of freedom, that questioning, and they are allowed to experiment and make their products and their services. I'll just say another thing about that. It's very competitive. Government subsidies tend to depress that.
Right.
You need private sector risk-taking, investment and risk-taking. The creative ecology in London is noisy, crowded, frantic, very competitive, exhausting, 24/7. People love it.
Right.
They get burnt out, but they love it. And you can't have a developing, expanding creative economy without recognizing that it will be very competitive, not just locally within your street, your city, but also actually within the region and globally.
Certain level of chaos in this competitiveness. All right, Governor Chu, I think some of the ideas certainly is resonated in your plan. And you have also moved quite far from a very orderly, very quote-unquote bureaucratic, very bottom-down government to where it is today. So perhaps you could share with us on how you plan to take this idea going forward and develop further.
What do you mean by, well, start from the definition of creativity. Sometimes it means new, being different, unique, or a contrast to a traditional, stereotyped thinking or pattern. Before we came into this space, I noticed that John's wearing quite colorful cufflinks.
Yes.
That reminds me about several years ago, I paid attention to the fashion of London. It's like so colorful, purple, pink, and it's not like a traditional London style or British style. It changed a lot. It's like very creative ideas, but it's a big contrast to the old UK culture or fashion. It's a creativity. In Taipei County, you also can have new ideas, different, unique ideas, but it's creativity. We've been thinking about, what kind of environments encourage